Okay, this was breaking news, but nevertheless, still, I find it newsworthy. So, Berlin protest of 18,000. Now, just as a preface, the biggest protest we had in the United States was, fuck, where was it? Where did I have it? Shit. Hold on a sec. Okay, here it is. So, according to Wikipedia, sprinkle the salt on there, if you will. The biggest protest we've had in the United States was about 3,000 people in the good old West County, like what is it, Orange County, the place with the scraggly old dudes with the motorcycles. I forgot what those are called. 3,000 people gathered at Huntington Beach. So we're going to assume that's like from Orange County, California. This county has about 3.01 million people. Berlin, as of 2019, has 3.7 million people. So you can say these two are about like Orange County and Berlin are comparable in size. No? So let's take a look at this number here. Why is it that Orange County can only summon up 3,000 people to say no government, I'm not staying in my fucking house any longer because of this coronavirus bullshit. Meanwhile, Berlin managed to summon 18,000 people. Like, why? So Berlin went from in about 4 years they went from teaching refugees how to have sex with German women, almost like as a deliberate attempt to replace their population. Two, and about 3 to 4 years later, they went from this to saying "fuck you" to the government at 18,000 in the numbers of 18,000. And that's just the estimate. And this is not. And this was 2 days ago. So earlier today or yesterday, now Munich is starting to have their protests. I don't know how big those are. We could just take a real quick look.
If you notice in that picture, um, everyone's arms were crossed. Just everyone collectively was just pissed.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be? Like, okay, so what the fuck? Oh, this is funny. Anyway, so yeah, people here are pissed, and the Germans don't have guns. They don't. There's probably more people in Orange County with guns, obviously, and are willing to shoot a burglar breaking into their door than there are people here showing up in Berlin to protest. And why aren't Americans doing shit? Because, and I'm asking you this not as a rhetorical, I genuinely don't understand. Because usually it's like we expect Germany to be like the leftist shithole that it's sold to be by the American right. But in reality, 18,000. America's yet to top that. Like, Americans need to fucking step it up. And I'm not saying
Hmm.
which country I belong to. You probably figured out anyways. Whatever, but still. Anyway, let's see what kind of bullshit the news is trying to spread about the people there. So, and make sure I don't forget about talking about Munich. Come on, Munich. It seems like yeah. There's some interesting headlines here. Anyway, let's start with Berlin. Okay, so MSN from MSN.com, Microsoft News, powered by your coronavirus inventor Bill Gates. Berlin police break up quote anti-coronavirus protest of 18,000. So, a massive protest Saturday in Berlin against Germany's coronavirus restrictions was shut down just hours after it began because the majority of attendees were not wearing face masks or socially distancing as required. They fucking okay. This is the reason they give for shutting it down, and not because it's like it's a government uprising.
I wouldn't say it's a government uprising, but it is quite the statement.
Fucking oh my god, what a joke! Berlin police estimate that 18,000 people were in attendance. And so here, in case you missed this, this is like a okay. I don't. I know this is from the slavery era United States, but what makes this significant? I guess this is like a reference to like the stupid ass masks that we're supposed to wear, and nobody's doing it, which is exactly how the protest should be. Like, what do you think? Do you think there's any deeper meaning behind this?
I don't know. It looks photoshopped. I don't know why.
Well, if
But
you
that's
look at the
just me.
shadows on the paper, it. I mean, it's really tough to do the shadows there. The angle's a little wonky. I'll agree, but oh well. Either way, it has meaning. Appreciate it. Caption: Coronavirus skeptics and oh no, right wing extremists protest in Berlin. Oh no, not the far right again. Even though like Germany's a place where Antifa was like conceived. All right. Berlin police
Hmm.
tweeted that they had warned protesters to several times to comply with the country's coronavirus restrictions. Berlin has mandated that people remain approximately 5 feet apart, and not your normal 3 in the U.S., and not the normal 1.5 meters. Well, hold on. 1.5 meters. That's about 5 feet. Oh well. And that people wear a face mask in public areas and indoor facilities, public events with more than 1,000 people will not be allowed until September 1st. And 18,000 people said, fuck you, government. Soon after the warning, police tweeted, "Unfortunately, we have no other option other than to disband the demonstration. We approached the leader of the demonstration and informed him that his meeting would be dissolved by the police," they wrote. "All the previous measures have not led to compliance with the requirements." Meanwhile, MSN just nonchalantly drops this fucking GoFundMe for donation to coronavirus. Like, where the fuck is this even
Okay.
going?
Yeah. Anyone that's like looking at shit like that, when you quote unquote donate money to these kinds of places, it's not going to the respond effort. It's going in the pocket of someone.
It's probably gonna fucking disappear just like that one GoFundMe for building the wall. It's just like
I
110
mean,
million. It's just poof.
well, even the
Oh
Red
man.
Cross does sketchy shit with their donations. Like they received like millions and millions to build houses this one time, and they only built like 3 or 4 houses off of like $5 million. They only built 3 houses, and they
Oh
weren't
my
even good
god.
houses. Okay, maybe some of it was used for like paying someone to build it and shit like that, but it shouldn't take that much.
Really like fucking Section 8 shacks, just run down with heroin addicts and prostitutes everywhere.
I don't know if it was quite that bad, but
Uh, so much for charity. Goddamn. Yeah. I mean, you can't even fucking trust homeless people anymore. You never know what they do with the money behind your back. Probably just walk home to a middle class house and they take off all their torn homeless person rags. What the fuck? Anyway, yeah, that's what Jesus would do. Just give free money to people only for them to blow it away on fraud and bullshit. Anyway, okay. Although many protesters were peaceful, police said, "Oh look, it's a peaceful protest." Remember,
yeah.
this peaceful protest I'm okay with, you know, but other than that, it's just. Police said that several arrests were made on Saturday. A large group of people threw stones and bottles, and police said. "We arrested 2 people. Force was used in the form of simple physical violence and pepper spray. We had to carry out numerous other arrests," police later tweeted. "Among other things for throwing bottles, freeing protesters, and other criminal offenses. Among those arrested is an author of vegan cookbooks." Oh no, I feel targeted. The why? Okay, why is this detail important though? Like, is that are you okay? So on one hand, this article is trying to spin it as like, okay, skeptics and right wing extremists protest in Berlin, but now they're trying to like, one of them's a vegan. Like, I wasn't there. What? I don't. It's 2020. I guess it shouldn't make sense.
What are the?
Uh,
Yeah, I don't get it. What does that have to be pointed out?
Maybe something intentional. Maybe the author has a stick up their ass about vegans. I don't know. That being said, veganism is kind of like a fairly popular thing in Germany, especially in the urban areas like like the biggest city in Germany, a la Berlin. But okay, hold on. Something's fucky with my audio. Let me reset this shit real quick. Okay. Uh, okay. Large group of people through. Okay, we arrested people. We had to carry out numerous other arrests. Rally. Okay, a rally at Berlin's Republic Square was disbanded, particularly for violence. Police said. Oh, so the marathon runners and joggers in the United States are all peaceful protests, but 18,000 average people who don't really seem to give a rat's ass about politics, let alone far right politics. That's a violent protest. What is it with these Germans? They're so warlike and barbaric. It's almost as if they weren't civilized by the Romans back when they were the Goth barbarians in ancient Rome period. Like, I don't know. Oh boy, it gets better. So more than 3,000 officers were deployed to help maintain the demonstration after anti-restriction and far right supporters, such as, oh wow, they got this from CBS. Okay, so the fucking alternative party. Far right supporters took to social media to call people to arm themselves and take part in the protest. Arm themselves with what? I'm not quite sure. I guess rocks and sticks. So the protest was organized and promoted by far-right groups and outlets, including the Islamophobic political party Alternative for Germany and Compact Magazine, which was removed from Facebook and Instagram on Friday. God, every line I read just gets better and better. Compact has called the demonstration a freedom movement and has described the coronavirus restrictions in the country as part of a dictatorship. Okay, so here's some more backstory. Okay, Alternative for Germany is a as you'd imagine, right wing, somewhat free economy political party, and even though it's comparable in size to all the other bajillion political parties in Germany, they don't stand a chance against the CDU. The CDU is Merkel's party, and I think it's called like a Christian Democratic Union, and the coalition would just totally blow Germany's alternative party out of the water every time. And even though the an the alternative party is growing, it still can't grow fast enough in terms compared to the again the CDU. And since the CDU basically like the establishment Democrats of Germany, who knows? They could be up to some fraud, but apparently the Germans are getting pissed. They're starting to really make some noise about how much Merkel pisses them off. So I don't know. I don't know anything about Compact Magazine. I should though, but I don't. And
So, anyone still watching a new? This is gonna kind of derail you a little bit, but
right.
there is a new article out there saying that the Center for Disease Control said that 6% of COVID-19 deaths were from COVID alone. The rest were deaths due to other complications.
Okay, wait. Say that again. One more time. It suck
So
us in the back.
the CDC just put out something that said only 6% of the COVID-19 were from COVID alone. Only 9,000 people died from just COVID. The
Holy
rest of
shit.
them were due to other complications. That is CDC.
If you can find a primary source, open that up and put that on your stream. Bring your stream on. I can throw that on my recording.
Right now,
Yeah, right now we can just touch it real quick. Okay. Shit. All right.
I went to the website, but they don't directly say it there. Someone had to go figure it out through all the numbers that they have out.
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess it
But
like
according to that fact, only 9,000 Americans have actually died of just COVID-19,
okay,
of
so
just having that.
it
The
sounds like
other
there's some.
deaths
Oh god,
were due
sorry.
to the fact that they had other ailments like AIDS or Alzheimer's or shit like that, or heart problem, or sick people that die from being sick with other shit.
So it sounds like there's some infighting, and they can't even agree about the fucking numbers. And I'm sure it's messy. I'm sure it's just like it's really hard to pin what exactly is killing this person. It's probably a multitude of factors. But either way, I'm sure if you're watching our videos, you kind of know that this. You kind of already agree with that. This is us. That the whole scare fest is just bullshit. But anyway, we can yeah, we can do a whole video on that later. Oh shit. All right, now let's switch back to my stream. Okay. Um, all right, so here's where it gets even juicier. Okay, well, this caption's just saying down the obvious. Okay, so here's what the sign says: lockdown, economy down, finances down, jobs down, people down, freedom down, life down. I don't know if the bit rate's too low. Maybe you can like see what's
Yeah, I
on
could
this
I could
picture.
tell.
Yeah. So this was a very yeah, it's very compelling sign artistry right here. And for once, the right is actually at least they have some fucking numbers. For once. Um, okay, so photos of the protests, which were organized and promoted by far right groups and outlets, show how many attendees representing far right conspiracy theory, QAnon. And yeah, I don't know why. It's totally beyond me why the Germans, the non retard left Germans, are really just they just have this huge boner for QAnon. Like Q is just dead in like the American front, but apparently the Germans are trying to bring him back to life. I don't know. Believers of the unfounded theory believe that President Trump is trying to expose a group of pedophile globalists and celebrities who are involved in sex trafficking and have been covertly running the U.S. and influencing world issues. QAnon followers do not consider Trump, who has been heavily accused of sexual assault and rape, to be involved in this ring. Well, even even if these allegations against Trump are true, that they aren't allegations of children. So I mean, I'm surprised they didn't. You know, if I were the writer of this article and I wanted to piss on Trump, I would have brought up to like how he was like all creepy with his when back when the with Ivanka back when she was like 13 and 14. Like Stormy Daniels accusing Trump of rape is not comparable to like the
She didn't accuse him of
accusations.
rape. She just said that she sucked his dick and didn't like it. She said that on CNN.
God, he didn't wash out all of his
She
Trump
said that
cheese.
she felt uncomfortable,
Oh my God.
but like, I'm uncomfortable. I didn't like it. The fucking
And
reporter was like, "Did were were you raped? Yes, or did you want it? Yes. Did you like it? No." I think those were the fucking questions. It's like, what
so
kind of fucking news is this?
how could you want something and not like it at the same time? Like if you want something and then it disappoints you, you don't like it anymore. Okay, but how could you enjoy the experience retrospectively and then at the same time say, "Oh, it was bad." So which one is it? And then somehow that's comparable to like the accusations. Now, again, accusations. We don't know what's really true of like the Epstein Island and fucking the Clintons or whatever. So a bad blowjob versus child rape. Whether these are accusations or truth or false, which how are they the same thing? How are they of the same magnitude? Like shit. To be involved in this ring, well, okay, well, Trump's a Republican. So, well, I guess back in the 90s he was a Democrat. So, that's the only leeway to it. But there's just been so much Trump bashing. Who the fuck's going to believe this? Anyway, they also believe that many of the world's events issues, including John F. Kennedy's assassination, ISIS, were tied to back to the deep state of celebrities. Well, okay, John F. Kennedy's death. Okay, what was happening during John F. Kennedy's death? slash assassination?
The Cold War.
You think it might have something to do with it? You know,
Possibly.
you know, I think that Americans weren't too fond of commies. They seem to have just a slight, a slight concern about communists. Just maybe. I know I sound crazy here, but maybe Oswald was a vehement communist. Just a possibility. I'm not here to confirm nor deny, and I'm not the Jesus of facts. So, but yeah. Oh fuck. Go back. All right. Kennedy's nephew, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who was adamantly anti-vaccine and unfoundedly compared to the number of children injured by vaccines as a Holocaust, spoke at the protest. Berlin's. What did he say? What did he say? Oh, he fucking backs up. Don't, Robbie. Don't apologize. Don't. You double down whenever people piss on you. Like, come on.
I hurt
Anyway,
y'all's feelings.
yeah. Hey,
That
that
kind
could
of energy.
that might actually get him arrested in Germany. I know that Germany actively has a law that says you cannot deny the Holocaust. So, which doesn't do
Never
shit
forget.
because never five get, yeah. Which doesn't do shit because if you don't believe it, then you just want to be lied. Like the government wants you to lie to them about the Holocaust happened if you don't believe it happened. It's, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so Berlin's Assembly Authority had an attempt to ban Saturday's protest based on what happened at an August 1st rally when 20,000 people gathered without face masks nor social distancing measures to protest Kororo restrictions. The move infuriated far right supporters. More than 242,000 people in Germany have been diagnosed with the coronavirus since the pandemic began, according to Johns Hopkins, including more than 11,000 in Berlin. And that's it. Ooh, bikes? The fuck? What the hell is? Oh my god! Everybody, this bike design is like open source. How the fuck is that a Ducati? Like literally everybody. I bet even fucking Ford is making these things. This exact bike design, 20-inch wheels, this little curve here. It was developed by this Taiwanese company called Turn, and apparently it's just open source now. Everybody's making them. Like what the hell? Fuck, you've got the same tires as the ones in the original. Holy fucking Schwalbe. No, these are Kendas. Oh, well, I've been wrong. Anyway, um, irrelevant bike rants aside, um, any final thoughts on the matter? Any idea why the Germans are able to do this, but Americans can't?
America isn't united. We have strongly, like, united as one body of people since I would say
Like, how big was the Boston Tea Party?
I would if you look back
Hello?
at like
Oh.
old videos. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out for a second. Okay, try to say it again.
So if you look at back at like old videos of, like from the 50s, everyone hated like communists, and like before then everyone hated the Nazis, and before then everyone. As time went on, as we allowed drugs into the country, welfare to come about, more and more divided. If you really
Well, I guess maybe looking at this picture, this kind of reminds me. The whole reason America was started is because of the more individualist mindset. It was about freedom and independence. But the people who stayed in Europe obviously didn't have a problem with the king. So you as Americans, you're kind of inclined to think that Americans are more ballsy, or just the more ballsy versions of Europeans, and the Europeans are just too chicken shit to say no to the king. But fast forward 300 years later, it seems like the tables have turned. And because of the lack or I guess slightly less presence of the independent mindset, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in the Germans, they're somehow able to put their minor differences aside and collectivize and work together. At the very least, in this Berlin protest that apparently is led by the far right, even though the far right is just like
I don't see
the
any black people in that protest.
I don't see any refugees either. That's what blows me away. It's mostly like just run of the mill German white Karens and Johns.
So
Just
the ones who are
fucking
actually supporting the economy.
well, not only that, but also just the majority of the population. Even though the refugees are like breeding like rabbits, they're still the minority. So it just blows me away how like not only 18,000, but 18,000 of the like the core demographic of Germans are coming out in this protest. And yeah, you don't see Americans doing this. It's kind of just
So
I don't know I know I've said it like a million times. I just can't wrap my head around it. So I guess just due to the collectivistic nature of Europeans in general, that somehow turned from something that makes them cowards to something that actually makes them potent or solvent and actually doing anything. And I don't know. I'm honestly starting to have more hope for Germany than America. But you were saying?
well, the way I look at it, we used to be one nation under God, but that's no longer true. So you look at that, and they're very united in some way. Like they all came together and supported each other and went out and protested the government.
The
So
Boston
now
Tea
we have
Party,
well we have
mind
such
you.
a diverse country now because of welfare, because of the fact that like Colorado and all of them have like drugs and shit that people could just go take whenever they want. Like we have people that aren't good people. Not saying that
Well,
everyone's bad, but we got people that aren't willing to, I guess you could say, commit to a greater cause. Just show up and collect all the free shit.
well, see, it's not just a race thing because you take a look at the majority of the protesters right now. Almost all of the joggers are white at this point. You know, there's like race riots that go on, but those are just again, those are like a couple days at most. And now it's just a fucking Antifa, white Antifa, mind you. So the problem, like, I don't even think it's really race when if you really boil it down to it. You know, well, aside from like the black community and the welfare, but it's just that's just an epigenetic. That's a whole like another topic on epigenetics. But the problem is different cultural values coming into the same area and clashing. And even putting aside the fact that the majority of the population in the United States is becoming like Hispanic or Mexican, South American, or whatever, it despite that, we are still no the country is no longer indivisible, and there's absolutely no liberty to speak of, and there's nothing but social justice left over. And Germany, what makes this even more amazing is that Germany was going down the exact same track, and in terms of their political divisions, their so-called polarization, and the distribution of like who has control of the government, it's very almost identical to the United States. Even well, once you consider like the political coalitions between all the dozens of tiny parties, yet, and we even have similar population groups. Yet, Germany still is able to spit out bigger numbers, and yeah, I know I'm a broken record at this point, but I'm proud of them. Even though these protests aren't like the protesters clashing with the government in like India, Nagaland. Like those, that's what you call a fucking riot. Or like the protesters in Lesbos on the Greek island, or the archipelago, just on the just south of mainland Greece. Like the police were trying to push refugees onto that island, but then the lesbians, you know, so to speak, were like, nope, we're not dealing with this, and they stood up to the police. And if they had guns, which weren't many, not many of them had guns. They didn't have to have guns. They just gathered in large numbers and started throwing rocks at the cops, and that's all they had to do. And then the cops fucked off, and there was not a single refugee on that island. Lesbos protest. This was just it was a few months ago. So I don't know where this tangent was going again. Um, there we go. That's a fucking straight up riot, and they were able to fend off the police, even though the police were armed to the teeth. And apparently, these protests in Berlin, like it's 3,000 cops versus 3,000 cops versus 18,000 Berliners. Most, more for the majority part, white native German speaking, fucking Oktoberfest and Wiener Schnitzel eating Germans. So this is going to get somewhere. If there's that many people, like how do you control that without stepping on your own tax base? These people probably vote. So yeah, I don't know, but it's already 30 minutes, so maybe we should start closing up. Any last thoughts?
I could just do the outro.
All right, let's roll it.
Well, hey, all you. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go down in the description below and click on the link that'll take you straight over to AVC's channel. Like and subscribe to him. He is the one who put in most of the effort in talking. I just kind of sit here and react to some of the shit that he says. And if you don't like my video, leave a dislike, but leave a comment saying why you don't like it. And we'll see you all in the next one.